Sure.
Okay, this is very short.
Hey.
I don't want to go overboard. You have your slabs. Now this one,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I picked this one up, and this is extremely, extremely stiff. So if I am rough with it, then I will break it. The first thing you want to do is figure out what makes more sense. Creating the cylinder on top of your disc or wrapping it around the circumference of that circle. Okay? So it really, 6 and 1/2 a dozen of the other, doesn't matter. I have excess material with this slab, so I would just figure out, eyeball it, and figure out where I can trim away the excess. Then I would place it down. And using the ruler, which I don't have, I'll just use this, straight edge, so I can cut away extra material. All right, now I want to score. Your slabs might be softer than this one. Oh, I said I was going to wrap it around, right? So I'm scoring the outer edge. You don't need a lot of moisture, just enough to make them agreeable. I see people really getting the clay very wet. And what happens when the clay is very wet? It becomes weakened. Just like the slip. It just compromises the integrity of the material. So I'm scoring it up, and I'm doing it super, super fast. You guys can take more relaxed time with it, Tom. So don't be whispering over there, or I'll separate you. Because I don't want a lot of extra noise on the video. Shh. 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 All right. So this is it. And compressing it a little bit, joining the seams with your whole hand. Notice I'm picking it up and turning it around. And if now I'm not going to take all the time needed to really model that. You can see that they're starting to get cracks, and people love to just slime that up. Just moisten it. Moisten, but not saturated. Okay? So that is how you make your form. Put that aside. Anytime you're not working on your clay, good idea to cover it up. Second. Okay. So then you come over to the bag. This is the one for when we put the clay back. This is the one for workable clay. Get enough about a handful. Work the clay together though, because it has been used and it might have air bubbles in it. So we sort of do a quick wedge job to kind of work out those bubbles. Because if you don't, then you're going to have a big cavity in your tooth. I mean your coil. My daughter has a cavity. And using your whole hand and really rolling it to make a coil. And as you do that, it starts to stretch. Okay? And it's starting to square out, so it's sort of correct it in the process. Now, see, I have a little cavity. All right, that's more what I want. No air. No air. All right, so you get the idea of the coil. What you're looking for is something that's going to look in the proper scale. If you have a really, chunky thing like this, you wouldn't want to have a little skinny little spaghetti looking coil on it, as it would not be in proper proportion, right? So that's one way you do that, and you can see that I got a little fancy. And you guys can do that too. You don't want to have the coil handle sticking all the way out. Roughly, all you need it to be is in the shape of a D. Cut it like so. Spread the branch so that it will attach very easily to your form. So if I have this all done, then I could attach that. That's just a simple one. Like I said, it doesn't have to extend way out. And if it does, it's just the chances of it breaking off are going to be that much more possible. Another thing you could do is you could take the clay and you could just roll a slab, a skinny slab. Or you could take a coil and then flatten it out like that to make it into a slab. That's sort of what I have here, more square. So make sure you model your everything together. And what else was I going to say? Oh, this, you can see that I pinched out a spout. You can do that. I also started to push out the form using my whole hand to cup around. And I have it on this little turntable, which makes it easier. But be very careful not to push it out so much that you push through it. So you got to be careful. We have
Elegant again. Really elegant.
So, lastly, before we leave, because we don't have class tomorrow and it's the weekend after that, we have to make sure that you cover your clay and protect it from air. Air is the enemy of your piece until you're ready to say it's done. Okay? So we have plastic. You're going to make sure you guys actually have plastic around your those, what do you call them?
Plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you can just take that, make sure there's no air getting in it, make sure your name is somewhere on it. Actually, it would be a good idea to maybe write your name again on the base. And we're going to be storing them in the other room. I'm going to label a shelf. That's where we're going to store it. So you can see, get all the tools that you need at your table with the people who you're working around. Slip maybe one of these with the sponge in it. And that's it. Thank you.